Good evening. You're watching the News at 6 with me, Shan Russell. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and we'll be filling in on them over the next half hour. But first, the headlines that we're tracking right now. Supreme Court refuses to entertain petition to quash criminal case against Gujarat policemen involved in the fake encounter killing of Ishrat Jahan. Lok Sabha passes Aadhaar bill, disregards opposition's demand to refer it to a standing committee. The government insists that focus is on using government money for targeted subsidy. In the Rajya Sabha, the government defends Sri Ravi Shankar's cultural event in Delhi, asks opposition not to give it a political colour. Opposition questions the government as to how Vijay Mallya was allowed to leave the country. The businessman claims he is the subject of a media witch hunt. And Myanmar elects longtime confidant of Aung San Suu Kyi as one of the three final candidates to be the next president. Voting expected to be conducted next week. Our top story this evening, the Supreme Court today refused to entertain a petition seeking to quash the criminal case against the Gujarat policemen involved in the 2004 killing of Ishrat Jahan. The petition was filed in the wake of the recent testimony of jailed LET operative David Coleman Headley. The Apex Court bench said that the PIL petitioner should have approached the High Court. However, it clarified that it was not dismissing the petition on merits when Additional Solicitor General sought a clarification. The petition refers to the statements of Pakistani-American terrorist Headley, who was recorded before a Mumbai court. It reportedly confirms Ishrat as a LET operative. Gujarat police personnel, including former IPS officer DG Vanzara, are facing trial in a Mumbai court for their alleged role in the encounter. The petition also sought a direction to close criminal proceedings and action taken against the Gujarat police personnel and others, saying it was unconstitutional within the judicial facts and evidences of Headley. The Lok Sabha today passed the Aadhaar Bill 2016 as a money bill on Friday afternoon. The opposition alleged that the government was attempting to make the Rajya Sabha redundant through the process. The Aadhaar Bill seeks to give legal sanction to the Unique Identification Number Program or Aadhaar as a single window to distribute subsidy and other direct transfer benefits.
The question is that the bill be passed. Those in favour may say aye. Aye.
The Aadhaar Bill 2016 was passed in Lok Sabha on Friday. It was presented as a money bill, prompting protests from the opposition. The bill seeks to give constitutional sanction to the Aadhaar number as a single window to distribute subsidy and other direct benefit transfers. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said provisions had been made in the bill to ensure that personal data was not misused.
Honourable predecessor speakers have taken a view that machinery is incidentally created. The principal purpose is the spending of the money and the targeting of that money in a particular manner. So it doesn't lose its character as a money bill.
The passage of the bill would save 20,000 crore rupees by avoiding subsidies taken by the undeserving. However, despite the government's assurance, the opposition raised concerns over misuse of users' biometric data. Several MPs also demanded that the bill be sent to a standing committee.
Only this card is not for identification, but it is also for other things. So many personal information you have to give. Yeah. So therefore, what harm is there if you refer it to the standing committee?
I oppose the Aadhaar bill. I do not support the collection of such sensitive data from individuals of this nation. We are a multicultural, multilingual state. We have a plethora of cards that we can rely on.
The government hopes this bill will help fight corruption. That's the reason it wants the bill to be passed quickly. Once a money bill is passed by Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha can only discuss it and not make any amendments. It also has to discuss the bill immediately. If not discussed within 14 days of being tabled in the upper house, a money bill is deemed passed. Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, opposition members in the Rajya Sabha raised the issue of the World Cultural Festival being held by the Art of Living in New Delhi. The opposition accused the centre of taking an active part in the event, which the government insisted on calling a cultural event.
The opposition in Rajya Sabha expressed concern over the defiant note struck by Art of Living founder Sri Ravi Shankar.
National Green Tribunal that has been discussed here.
This was over Ravi Shankar's response to the National Green Tribunal's decision to impose a 5 crore rupee penalty for holding a cultural extravaganza on the Yamuna floodplains.
CPWD कह रहा है कि ये जो स्टेज है खराब है। पहले ये बात हम डिस्कस कर दिया। कह रहा है, आपके इंजीनियर्स कह रहे हैं कि ये ठीक नहीं है। वहाँ बड़ा हादसा होगा। देश भर में बाहर से लोग कह रहे हैं कि आतंकवादी यहाँ आए हुए हैं। वहाँ 35 लाख आदमी आएगा।
This is a complete ecological destruction of the Yamuna floodplain. I request the Environment Minister to do his job. He has to do his job. He has to protect the environment.
Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi defended the spiritual guru, saying he is sensitive towards the environment. He also urged members not to give the episode a political colour. Naqvi said the Prime Minister will attend the event along with other BJP leaders.
श्री रवि शंकर जी खुद पर्यावरण के प्रति बहुत ही संवेदनशील है और वो पूरे देश में पर्यावरण को ठीक करने के लिए हमेशा युद्ध प्रयास करते रहते हैं। उनके लाखों अनुयायी हैं और इस पे जो है वो मतलब का राजनीतिक पूर्वाग्रह के साथ कोई भी बात कहना ठीक नहीं है। हमारा मानना है कि इसको राजनीति मतलब जिसको करना है
Deputy Chairman PJ Kurian said the matter was not listed in 0 hour. He also said the issue was under the consideration of the court. Ravindra Shoran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
The National Green Tribunal has taken a strong objection to the Art of Living founder Sri Ravi Shankar's remark on refusal to pay the fine for holding the cultural extravaganza on the Yamuna floodplains. Ravi Shankar had said on Thursday that he would prefer rather going to jail than pay the 5 crore rupee fine. The tribunal, however, allowed AOL more time to pay the fine. The foundation had argued that it was a charitable organization and it was difficult for it to generate such a huge amount in a short period. The foundation is now paying 25 lakh rupees immediately, failing which the grant of 2.5 crores sanctioned to it by the centre would be attached. The foundation has 3 weeks to pay the remaining 4.75 crores. The NGT said that when a person of that stature makes such statements, it hits the rule of law. If anybody hurts the image of the tribunal, he will be taken to the rule of law. The cultural festival, meanwhile, is underway on the banks of the Yamuna. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other BJP leaders are attending the event.
कोर्ट ने कहा कि जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर ने 2.5 करोड़ का ग्रांट दिया है और उस ग्रांट के अमाउंट में करीब 1.6 करोड़ उनको मिल चुके हैं। अगर इन्होंने ये जो 5 करोड़ पेमेंट नहीं करते हैं तो वो जो अमाउंट मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कल्चर से है दैट विल बी फ्रोजन। जो जमा करेंगे वो करेंगे, साथ में साथ जितने भी सेफ्टी और सिक्योरिटी के हिसाब से हैं दिल्ली पुलिस वगैरह के, वो सब सर्टिफिकेट्स भी इन प्लेस होना पड़ेगा। उसके ऊपर भी जो है अभी भी अगर नॉन कंप्लाइंस होगा किसी भी मोमेंट पर, क्योंकि पहले पीडब्ल्यूडी ने सर्टिफाई किया था कि यहाँ पर स्ट्रक्चर अनसेफ है, तो वो सेफ्टी वगैरह जो इश्यूज़ है अभी भी ओपन है। अगर अथॉरिटीज़ को लगता है कि कोई भी सिक्योरिटी इश्यूज़ हैं तो वो एक्शन ले सकते हैं।
Now, the Enforcement Directorate orders on loan defaulter Vijay Mallya to appear before it on the 18th of March. The matter came up for discussion in Parliament as well.
The BJP and Congress-led opposition parties exchanged barbs in and outside Parliament on the departure of liquor baron Vijay Mallya. In Parliament, the Congress asked how Mallya was allowed to leave the country even after creditors of Kingfisher Airlines appealed to the Supreme Court to ensure he stayed in the country. The Congress also demanded a response from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Finance Minister Arun Jaitley.
Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi and Finance Minister must answer to the nation. It must also be answered, why was the lookout notice of CBI? First was which one was for detention of the person. Why was it toned down to only an information notice? Thirdly, when a specific information was received on 2nd of March from immigration authorities to CBI that he was leaving the country, why was no action taken?
Mallya is under pressure from banks to repay nearly 9,000 crore owed by his collapsed airline. In a series of tweets, he however refused claims that he fled India.
all the public sector banks should order forensic audit to nail down how much money has been siphoned up by these corporates or the people who have taken loan, so that the people's money can come back.
Mallya, who has called himself the king of good times, built his business around Kingfisher beer and co-owns a Formula One racing team. He told his Twitter followers that he travels to and from India frequently and that he was the target of a media witch hunt. The Janata Dal United also demanded that the government intervene in the matter.
सरकार सीधे तौर पर जिम्मेदार है। पासपोर्ट क्यों नहीं जब्त किया गया? इंटरपोल की मदद क्यों नहीं ली गई? क्यों नहीं रेड लुक जारी किया गया ताकि सारे हवाई अड्डों पर जांच हो सके?
Mallya is a member of Parliament's upper house. He was last seen in the chamber on March 1st. So far, he hasn't disclosed his current location in social media posts. He's believed to have flown to London on a Jet Airways flight on March 2nd. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Time now to take a look at what else has been making news around the country and nationwide. With the DMDK declaring it won't align with any parties in the 2016 Assembly polls, the DMK is now staring at isolation with options of allies running out quickly. DMDK leader Vijay announced that the party would go at it alone in the Assembly elections in Tamil Nadu. A Delhi court today allowed a petition by BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy and summoned documents in the National Herald case. Besides the documents for the year 2010-11, the court also summoned Associated Journals Private Limited papers for the same assessment year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took an overview of the issues and schemes related to the education sector. According to sources, the meeting lasted nearly 2.5 hours this evening. Officials of the Niti Aayog gave presentations related to education from schools to higher education. Time for us to take a short break. Lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Thanks to the politicians like Nehru, who understood the importance of mathematics as an intellectual activity as well as for the economic development, they made important financial input into science. One of the quotations from Nehru is more or less what he said, I think to some extent, that mathematics is the vehicle of exact scientific thought.
Watch Eureka with Professor M.S. Narasimhan, eminent mathematician, only on Rajya Sabha TV. Life after death was a cardinal belief in the Harappan civilization. Reflecting this is the skeleton of a middle-aged woman with gold bangles. Excavated from Rakhigadi in Haryana, it's an example of the burial practices in those times. Much like the Egyptian mummies, vessels, eatables, ornaments were kept near the dead body, in the hope that they would be of use to the person in the next world.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Let's now cut across live to the Art of Living Foundation World Cultural Festival on the banks of the Yamuna.
ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसे जायताम राष्ट्रे राजन्याः शूरा एकव्यो दिव्या
World Cultural Festival are being organized on the banks of Yamuna, despite the National Green Tribunal coming down harshly on it for it not willing to pay up the entire fine of 5 crore rupees. They've already deposited 25 lakh rupees, but 4.75 crore still remaining for threatening environmental damage on the banks of the Yamuna.
Hello. The reverberating chants of 1,050 Vedic Pandits enlivening the vibrations of peace and prosperity for here and around the world. Chandrika Tandon ji now renders her composition.
अब मैं मंगल वंदन के लिए चंद्रिका टंडन जी को आमंत्रित करता हूं।
Now switching over to some international news, and a long-time confidant of Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi was today confirmed as one of the 3 final candidates to be Myanmar's next president. Landmark voting for the Myanmar presidency is expected next week. Here's more.
Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi couldn't be named for the top job, but her long-time confidant has been confirmed for the final race. Hitin Kyaw will be one of 3 candidates to be Myanmar's next president. He was approved with a strong 274 to 29 vote in the lower house of parliament. If elected, he would be the first leader of Myanmar in decades from outside the military. A second, NLD's Henry Van Thieu was chosen as the second finalist by the upper house with a 148 to 13 vote. Military members of parliament, who account for 25% of the numbers, chose the third candidate, current Yangon region chief minister U Myint Swe. Voting for the presidency is expected on March 17th or 18th when the Union Parliament reconvenes. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Now, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump on Friday refused to back off from his assertion that Islam hates America. At a Republican debate in Miami on Thursday, Trump said amending his words will be surrendering to political correctness. The TV debate on Thursday saw Republicans candidates spar over policy matters. Republican presidential hopeful Marco Rubio hit out at Trump for saying that Islam hates America, saying that Islam had a problem with radicalization, but said that many Muslims were proud Americans. However, Trump stood by comments he made earlier in the day when he said Islam hates us, there's a tremendous hatred, and rallied against political correctness. Now, in major evidence against IS recruitments, a disillusioned former Islamic State militant has passed on a stolen memory stick containing documents about foreign recruits to British journalists in Sky News. German, UK and Syrian opposition media are in possession of the files.
أنا بدي أطلب من الناس اللي جوا منضمة على تنظيم كذب يدعي الإسلام ما فيه شيء بيطابق لشرع الإسلام أبدا أبدا بعيد عن الإسلام.
A magnificent coup against the Islamic State. Abu Hamid, an Islamic State defector brought a gold mine of details on 22,000 IS supporters. He stole a memory stick from IS internal security force and passed it on to Britain's Sky News. He was apparently disillusioned with IS leaders. The files have been published online in Arabic by Zaman al-Wazil, a Qatari-based Syrian news website. Out of 22,000 names in the file, most seems to be duplicates.
هي معلومات استخباراتية، أكيد الاستخبارات هي اللي راح تشتغل عنا. يعني بنصح إنه تتسلم لناس عم تشتغل ضد داعش. الناس اللي فعلا مستنية شيء لتشتغل ضد داعش، مو تتسلم لناس مشان تبيعها وتشتريها وترجع ترجعها على التنظيم.
He knew it was very important. He didn't know what was on it, and he took it from the head of internal security of Islamic State, came across the border, and through the network that we've known for a very long time, we eventually were given the memory stick.
Germany's Interior Ministry said the files appeared to be genuine. Germany, UK and Syrian opposition media have identified IS recruits from at least 40 countries. The enrollment file contains names of IS supporters, their relatives, telephone numbers and other details such as areas of expertise and who had recommended them. Another file marked martyrs detailed a group of IS members who were willing and trained to carry out suicide attacks. 2 of those listed are currently on trial separately in Germany. Other 2 Germans on the list have appeared in IS videos earlier. 16 Britons, including 2 killed in airstrikes in Syria, also feature in the files.
We've got 51 nationals from 51 countries that we've been able to identify, crosses the whole of the globe, from America all the way to China, a lot of European countries, Britain obviously, and then a lot from North Africa and from the Middle East, Arabia. Many of them have been to every jihadist hotspot that you can think of in a single trip, starting in Tunisia, going to Libya, Somalia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, through to Europe, Belgium, France regularly, and then to Turkey and into Syria. So they weren't on watch lists and they weren't stopped, clearly, because they were able to travel quite easily.
Abu Hamid was a former Free Syrian Army fighter who switched to Islamic State. Apparently, IS had been taken over by former soldiers of Iraqi Ba'ath Party of Saddam Hussein. Saddam was ousted in 2003 following the US-led invasion of Iraq. IS is known for its bureaucracy. Officials said a snapshot of the data looks like as it is from late 2013 or early 2014, but still it could have its uses. What appears to be a personal database for the group could be of real intelligence value for Western security services, if proven authentic. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Some more international news now in Global Buzz. UN experts said that the ISIS terror group has significantly expanded the territory it controls in conflict on Libya. The experts monitoring Libya said the terror group has successfully recruited marginalized communities in the center, which it controls. The experts said that in the report to the UN Security Council that all parties in the conflict are continuing to receive illicit arms transfers, some with support from UN member countries. Police in the United States have launched a manhunt after a brutal shooting at a backyard barbecue in Pennsylvania. The attack killed 6 people, including an 8-month pregnant woman. Police said they were searching for at least 2 suspects and asking witnesses to come forward about the massacre. 3 women and a man were killed at the scene and another woman died at hospital. The county police said this in a statement. The US Senate today voted to defeat a bill seeking to block the $700 million sale of 8 F-16 fighter jets to Pakistan. This decision comes even as some top lawmakers called Pakistan an unreliable ally and questioned its commitment to fighting terrorist organizations. India has opposed the sale, saying it disagrees with Washington's rationale that such arms transfer would help combat terrorism. Some sports news now, and Pakistan's Interior Ministry has cleared the national men's and women's teams to travel to India for the World T20. The decision came after the government received letters from the West Bengal state government and Kolkata's Police Commissioner Rajiv Kumar assuring special security measures for the Pakistani team while in Kolkata. The men's team will play their match against India on the 19th of March. A controversy had erupted over Pakistan playing in Dharamshala, with the Congress government in the state asking BCCI to address concerns of families of security personnel martyred in terror attacks in India. The issue resulted in the shifting of the India-Pakistan match from Dharamsala to Kolkata. Some more sports action now on Sports Beat. Ace Indian shuttler Saina Nehwal will take on Tai Zhu Ying of Chinese Taipei in the All England Championship quarterfinal today. The world number 2 scripted a 21-16, 21-9 victory in the second round late on Thursday to be the only Indian remaining in the tournament. The other Indian shuttlers proved to be a disappointment, with all of them losing to their respective opponents. Hundreds of people, including cricketing greats, attended the funeral service of former New Zealand cricket captain Martin Crowe in Auckland. About 1,000 mourners packed Auckland's Holy Trinity Cathedral to remember Crowe, who died on March 4th, aged 53, after a long battle with cancer. Liverpool tightened their grip on Europa Cup last 16 tie after a 2-0 victory over Manchester United in the first leg. Daniel Sturridge gave Liverpool a 20th minute lead from the spot after Memphis Depay fouled Nathaniel Klein, and Roberto Firmino added a second from close range with 17 minutes left. That's all from us. Goodbye.